share, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. Let's get straight to it, y'all. Boom, bye.
An act of God wipes out a woman's stuff and gives her landlord someone to blame. Plaintiff Natasha Adams is suing her landlord for damaged property. Defendant Tuan Tran says the damages are not his responsibility.
Damn.
Now it's Joe time.
Ms. Adams, you're suing your former landlord, Mr. Tran, for $25.85. You say several of your personal items were damaged when a bedroom was flooded due to an improperly built room.
Yes, sir.
That's
the
his
defense,
fault.
Mr. Tran, is that the lease specifically stipulates that acts of God are not subject to compensation by the landlord. And we're talking about locally when we had that very, very heavy rain last week or so of December, I believe,
Yes.
a couple of weeks of December. Please explain your complaint, ma'am, if you would.
Okay, well, when I moved into Tuan's house, he promised me he was going to fix this and this and that.
Fix
he
what
never
now?
did. Like repairs, he's supposed to fix the sprinklers on the outside.
Okay, the sprinklers in the yard.
Which
there
I
was
wasn't in
one
a hurry.
toilet that needed some work apparently.
Oh my
Interior
God.
paint. Hold on, let me see if I've got this. And replace.
Hey yo, see, this how you lose. I ain't mean to stop it this early, but this how you lose the case, bruh. When the judge speak, just humble yourself for a bit, bruh. Don't be, you know what I'm saying, don't be too confident, don't be too arrogant, don't let too much emotion show, because that gonna show a sign of weakness, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, the judge might be like, you know what, I'm gonna give it to the defendant, man, because this plaintiff right here is just doing too much, you know what I'm saying. Just let the judge speak. Don't be patient. Just be patient. You got all the time to speak. Be patient.
Certain tiling.
Yes.
That's when you moved in March of year last, and I believe this was a Section 8 situation, and you were paying $400 of the $1,300 rent, and the state of California was paying the balance of the $1,311. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now we come to December 21st of last year. What happens?
Okay, December 21st, I had a housing inspection. So when I woke up that morning to go get the kids up because they were off track, my son's room was flooded. The whole room was flooded.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You say that this was a patio that had been enclosed.
Yes.
Now, was it supposed to be a bedroom, or you just used it as a bedroom?
I don't know. When I moved in the house and he said he had a 3-bedroom house with a bonus room. It was an enclosed patio, but all he was going to do was fix the floor. But the previous tenants that lived there before I did, it was a room. They used it as a room also.
They used it as a room. Now
Yes.
we're talking.
But the thing is, Judge, you can't really blame her for that due to the fact that he stated that it's 3 bedrooms. So if you state that it's 3 bedrooms, you have to, what's it called? You have to like verify I think you have to verify I'm not sure to the terminology, but you got to verify something with your house with like the people, you know, who you renting it to, like the guidelines and all that. And if you state as a 3-bedroom house, you know what I'm saying, and use that room as a bedroom, that's not your fault.
Talking about an 11-year-old, 15 and 17-year-old. Your 20-year-old is, I take it, not living with you, or is that an
Yeah, my 20-year-old is still living with me. She was pregnant at the time.
Why wasn't she with her husband or whatever it may be? Oh, she doesn't have one.
She didn't. Correct.
Uncle Joe,
Continue,
man, that ain't the
Okay,
time,
so
Uncle.
I had the 2 girls in the room, and my oldest daughter was pregnant, was in there, and my son was in the enclosed patio. And I've been telling Tuan the house is too small, and also I have been telling housing the house.
Telling him the house is too small?
Yeah, I wanted to move. I wanted him to fix the repairs in my house. I know I'm not the only person. I've never yelled at him.
Your house is too small, so I want to break the lease agreement because I chose to have my son come back and live with me. And my 20-year-old daughter, who ought to be with a husband, is pregnant out of wedlock, so that'll be a grandchild, a daughter, a son, a daughter, and a daughter, and your place is too small. I need to break the lease. But let's get to the case.
Okay, the case is the room flooded. I have videotapes of it. everything. You know.
Wait. What about this part of your lease that says acts of God are not covered by the landlord?
First of all, I never signed a lease. That's not my signature on the lease, if you can see. And I never had a copy. No, I didn't say he forged my signature.
Well, your son signed it on your behalf.
Because I was not there.
But you're still subject to the terms and conditions of the occupancy.
Well, I've never seen a lease.
You say he should be responsible for damage and mildew to your clothes, but in your complaint you specifically say that because of the flooding due to the weather, you use your clothes to sop up the water. Now, how is he responsible for that?
First of all, the clothes were in a bag. I did not know there was a hole in the bottom of the bag. The clothes were soaking wet when I checked the bag.
Well, why didn't you say that in your complaint instead of my clothing? My son's clothing was damaged because I used them to soak up the water.
And since they were already wet, I put them on the floor and I washed them myself. I wasn't even going to sue this man because I know it's not his fault.
Why didn't you just wash the wet clothes?
I did. I washed everything. Why he couldn't come?
Bro, you said I'm not going to sue his man because I know this is not his fault. You just lost the case just like...
Help me clean up his house. He couldn't even call me. He didn't even apologize to me.
Why should he apologize?
It's his house, his property.
But you have a lease.
I did not know his house was faulty. I did not know it was
not
wrong.
Faulty. Everybody had problems.
But the whole point is...
So why should he come over when his lease doesn't require it and be nice and sop this up? And by the way, I looked at your pictures. The television is on a stand. How does it get water damage?
Okay, as you can see... I looked
at your pictures where, how do we get a VCR down on the ground to get water damage?
It's his room. You can't put nothing on the floor. He's 17. Everything has to be put up on stands.
His Xbox is on the floor, not on the shelving that I see in your pictures. His cell phone was on the floor. The VCR is on the floor. His games were on the floor. And miscellaneous items are on the floor of his room. You're supposed to be mama. You don't go to work. Didn't you teach your son how to deal with good housekeeping? What's 17 got to do with it?
He's 17. I go in there and I clean up after him.
So a 17-year-old is beyond your control, and Joe, you know, he's totally tacky.
Listen, man, I ain't with Unc today, bro. I feel like Joe is doing too much, bro. I think Uncle Joe is doing way too much right now, bro. I'm not with him right now. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he's going out of the case instead of dealing with the case.
Throws everything on the floor instead of putting it on the shelf.
You can say that. That's why he didn't live with me. Yeah, you can say that.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
That property, because he's a new owner, that property has had several code enforcement violations. The city has been out there several times for that property.
When?
Before Twan owned it.
The plaintiff in this case says the home she rented was so shoddy and in need of repairs that when it rained, her son's room flooded and their belongings were destroyed. She's suing her landlord for damages. Let's get back to the case.
Okay, tell me about this.
Yes, Your Honor. According to the lease, I'd like to pass up my copy of the lease.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to call your attention to the first page, the paragraph number 5. It says that the tenants are allowed to have 4 people.
Yes, it was an unauthorized tenant. The premises shall not be occupied by any person other than those designated and shown as a tenant herein, with the exception of the following named people: Naya Eddington, Zani Adams, Zakia Adams. And oh, by the way, you're in violation of California welfare laws. The person you have in there is not authorized to be a beneficiary of the tax dollars.
Yes.
You know what?
They added my son back on housing.
With you? You are confessing under oath, young lady, to welfare fraud.
Welfare fraud? I don't receive welfare.
Yes, because the documentation that I guess your son signed it for you says that only the designated individuals are entitled to be present or live in the premises. So you have occupants that are not authorized under California welfare law to be in there. You breached his lease. That's point 1.
How? When housing put him back on my lease?
Well,
and
he's not
the court
on
gave
there.
Him back to me October 20th.
He's
and
not
the
on
housing
there.
Put him back on
He's
my
not
housing.
on there. Does she understand she's testifying that she breached the lease and she's in
breached the
default?
lease.
Breach
Oh my
the
God,
lease. We just
because
learned
my
that in
son
class,
is back
y'all.
living with me.
May I ask one more question?
Certainly.
Through the housing authority, assistant from Cali Riverside, to receive this one, and in order for the property to be eligible for this program, the housing authority had to come in to inspect the house. And
I'm aware of that.
And inspect annually. And these conditions they have right now, they are not the pre-existing conditions. It was approved and passed by the housing authority when she moved in.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went to the city and I went down to City Hall.
That was what I said earlier. I would say you gotta go through what's it called. There's an inspection you gotta do before you can give a house to someone to like rent in or something like that, right? There's like a house inspection, something like that. That's what I was talking about earlier.
And they researched
She lost the
it.
case,
That
man.
property, because he's a new owner, that property has had several code enforcement violations. The city has been out
When?
there several times
When?
for that property.
When?
When? Before Twine owned it. The fence was never fixed. I have pictures of the fence in the backyard.
Before he owned it, he acquired it and he renovated it and it passed inspection last year.
Well,
so
the city
that's
be
what
contacting
we do
him.
when we get with the entrepreneurial thing.
Okay, the city be contacted him. I'm just saying the city will be contacting him.
You're gonna have, I'll have vengeance.
I wouldn't even do Twine like that. I'm not even mad at Twine. I've never yelled at this man. I've never cussed at my owner. He's never done nothing to me.
Cuz, don't bring emotion down in the court, man. Court's all about facts. Don't bring no emotion in the court, man. It's all about facts. How you display your facts, how you display your rules. Do not bring no emotion in the court, man.
Nothing,
Now,
anything.
wait a
He
minute.
asked
See,
me to
we
show
haven't
his
even
house.
got
I don't
into the
care.
other side of it. Let's talk about, you're here a victim again. Now, let's see. December 21st, 2010, on his business record, sworn accounting, around 7 p.m., he gets a call from your daughter, not you, that the enclosed patio was flooding. There was a demand that you come immediately. What goes on is an advisement that due to the weather, and since it was raining heavily that whole week, it was suggested that any furniture, which on his last inspection, once you were in there, consisted of a few tables and a chair or two out of the patio. It's raining the whole week, so what is he supposed to do? You were advised, or at least your daughter was advised, that management would be there the following Sunday, December 26th. This call was on December 21st, if the weather permitted.
Which I understood.
He arrived on that Sunday and did an inspection and left. He returned January 2nd with a worker he had contracted with and instructed that individual what to do. The following week, you were contacted and you refused to let the worker in.
That's not true. They came on
So
the
you
11th.
ended up doing the cleaning yourself, which in your own complaint says was done by taking the clothes in question to sop
not
the
true.
water up.
That's
Now,
not
what you
true.
say. You change
That's
it
not
around,
true.
but that's all right.
That's not true.
So
No,
you know
at
what?
10:30
You
in the
don't
morning.
state a case because the lease excludes him from liability from acts of God. So end the deal. You're not a victim. Denied. No.
This courtroom is now in recess. Well, it turns out in the end, this one is on God. The rain came, the room flooded. Take it up with the big guy. It's not the defendant's fault. This claim is denied.
I'm so confused. What you mean on God, bro? On God means swear to God. So I'm confused now, bro. Y'all messed me up. But anyways, man, honestly, this was pretty straightforward. I don't got no thoughts. Just don't be stupid. Just know what you signing, bro. And make sure you, before you sign a contract with someone so you don't breach your duty, you know what I'm saying? Before you sign a contract, make sure you get a lawyer or someone higher up to read it for you. Anyways, y'all, it's your boy B2X for me, and I'm out this bit, man. Much love to y'all, you know what I'm talking about? Haha, that was too funny, cuz.